Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you, and the headline reads: Sowore re-arrest triggers the largest human rights activist gathering led by Falana in Lagos. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Alright, let's listen to the news. Leading human rights activists are set for a face-off with top brass of Directorate of State Security (DSS) and Nigerian Police at the 2019 Human Rights Summit in Lagos, according to the statement by Mrs. Oke Lofolunwa and Emeka Nwadioke, chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Lagos Branch Human Rights Committee, and Human Rights Summit 2019 Planning Committee, respectively. The summit will be holding on Tuesday, December 10, 2019 at 1 p.m. at the Ajib Recital Hall of Mosun Center, Onikan, Lagos.
Among the leading lights of the human rights movement who have committed to attending the event are very human rights crusaders like Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, who will chair the occasion, and Professor Anselm Chidi Odinkalo, former chairman of National Human Rights Commission NHRC, who is the keynote speaker. The theme of the summit is Youth Standing Up for Human Rights, the Case for Nigeria. The list of panelists includes such human rights heavyweights as Chief Mike Ozehiom, SAN, Mrs. Ayo Obe, former president of Civil Liberties Organization CLO, Mr. Tony Ojukwu, executive secretary National Human Rights Commission, and Mr. Mondo Ubani, former NBA second vice president. Other panelists are the United Nations Special Advisor on Human Rights, Mr. Martin Ejidike, Mr. Yusuf Bichi, Director General of Directorate for State Security (DSS) and Head AIG Zone 2, Nigeria Police Force, Lagos, Mr. Ahmed Iliasu. Among the dignitaries expected at the summit are the Chief Judge of Lagos State, Justice Kazeem Olarenwaju Alogbon. Special guest of honor, Lagos State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Moyosore Onigbanjo, SAN. Guest of honor and former NBA President Dr. Olisa Agbakoba, guest of honor. According to the organizers, the summit, which is regarded by human rights watchers as the largest gathering of human rights activists in recent times, is open to the general public at no cost. In line with this year's theme, many university and high school students have also been invited to attend the summit. Noting the importance of this year's theme, the United Nations said, after a year marked by the 30th anniversary celebration of the Convention on the Rights of the Child, which culminated on 20th November 2019, our plan is to capitalize on the current momentum and spotlight the leadership role of youth in collective movement as a source of inspiration for a better future. Under our generic call to action, Stand Up for Human Rights, we aim to celebrate the potential of youth as constructive agents of change, amplify their voices, and engage a broad range of global audiences in the promotion and protection of rights. The campaign, led by Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights (OHCHR), is designed to encourage, galvanize, and showcase how youth all over the world stand up for their rights and against racism, hate speech, bullying, discrimination, and climate change, to name a few. The summit is holding with the heat of the arrest, bail, and re-arrest of Sahara Reporters publisher Omoyele Sowore.
Wow, that's going to be a big one, but there are little fears here and there as many Nigerians who have stumbled on this information are a little bit scared if truly the meeting will hold as proposed, since most of the time matters like this are considered to be inimical to, the government of the day. The essence of the meeting, as clearly spelled out here, is for them to fully sensitize not just anybody, but the youth, who are considered to be key element in, triggering changes in a society. They want to let them understand their role in their roles in the human right, in standing up, for human rights. And another purpose which they have clearly spelled out there is that it is aimed to celebrate the potential of youth as constructive agents of change, which therefore means, according to the information, that they'll be inviting people from different quarters to be a part of the meeting. And I just keep wondering what the case will look like when such meetings will be holding, because right now Nigeria is going through a very challenging moment. Unfortunately, one of the things that bothers the heart is the fact that our leaders are too quiet concerning the things that are happening. Though we are hearing their voices via their media aids and all of that, but still, it doesn't really, for issues that have generated global attention, I think the voices of our leaders ought to be heard. The Vice President has not spoken. The President of Nigeria has not spoken. Key ministers who ought to make statement in respect of a lot of events that is going on in the country right now are just very quiet. And now this gathering is going to take place. I wonder what will be the situation by the time these children, these young people, go in there and get topped up, and shown the way to fight, for their human rights. It's going to be quite a terrific moment, because I can assure you that some will come out very strong, and it clearly, or it shows also that it will trigger more Sowores, more stronger Sowores. And imagine if agent of change is spread all around, supporters of fundamental human rights are spread all around the country, what will actually happen? And I think also one of the things I bothered my mind, it's the government looking at all of the things that have happened thus far and speaking to the people. It's not ideal to be quiet moments like this, because you don't expect the people to know what is in your mind. You don't expect them to know if truly their interest is in your heart. Quietness is one element, one thing that is not permissible at this moment of being vocal, talking and letting the people hear you, and looking at things from different point of view and arriving at the conclusion can help, to simmer down the tempo right now. Don't forget that Nigeria is a country that have gone through a lot of things. There is a nosedive in investment. There's a nosedive in employment rate, nosediving in virtually all sectors that we're expecting that there will be, growth. So right now, whatever they hear, whatever they see, whatever, they see that will help bring the expected change, they are really in support of it. And Falana is going to be the one who is going to, be the forerunner of this whole thing. He has been in the middle of all the, Sowore saga and all of that. So he will be telling us everything that had happened thus far. And what will happen after then? From me, I think it will be the betting of so many human rights activists. What do you have to say about this?
Well, to start with, I feel that Sowore's rearrest, in fact, Sowore's saga has made Falana and all the lawyers, all the senior advocates of Nigeria, all those in the third arm of government, that's judiciary, have sat back and realized that we are supposed to be interpreting the law, and for whatever reasons, our interpretations of the law have been undermined. If we keep quiet, things will go things will go south, and we'll have ourselves to blame. If in our hands democracy fails, then we have indeed failed as an arm of government. So they just realize that of a truth. They just realize that one of the greatest weapon, greatest voice, one of the greatest tool that is used to sustain democracy and question tyranny has always been a protest, freedom of expression, protest, where things, constructive protest, where things don't go well, you protest. And in this time where there's internet exposure, 1 or 2 persons can even take it online real time, so that if there's any funny shooting here and there, the world gets to see. And in this gathering, because I know before now maybe this won't have happened, we're still, the Nigeria government are still contending with the likes of MNK and the fact that he's reporting the country all around the world. If he's not in EU today, he's in UN tomorrow. If he's not in UN tomorrow, he's in America today, saying one thing or the other about the misrule of Nigeria. Now Sowore's matter, Sowore saga is also in play. And now the judiciary, the big arms, that we're still even thinking about the likes of Adeyanju, the likes of Omoyele coming up here and there, and now they're now saying, look, maybe Nigerian youth, over 180 million Nigerians, and yet they're boxed up. Looks like they don't know their rights. They don't know the power of voice. They don't know the power of coming together and saying, we don't want this. Our voice, they just realize that it looks like these guys don't know that as the electorate, they can determine who to be impeached and who will remain. They don't know that they can on their own say, look, we don't want this, and it remains so. And before you know, the leaders they elected will begin to dance to their voice and not the other way around. And they now realize that there's a need, that them alone cannot defend the rule of law. The Nigerians, the youth in Nigeria need to know, on their fingertips, the rules and the laws of the land and how they are empowered to guard the laws of the land as well. So they are gathering with you can imagine if this gathering come forth, because I do know one thing is certain. When Sowore came out with the revolution, days of rage and all that, and he said it's a protest without ammunition, DSS police rose up against it. Okay, so I'm a bit scared that DSS are already invited. I'm a bit scared that let's just say it goes if they will not dislodge and disturb the meeting. But don't forget, these are high-ranking senior advocates of Nigeria, all going to be in one hall, and it is free, which means they're coming to educate an average Nigerian the power he has as an electorate, as a Nigerian, and how his voice can be heard collectively as a people. And if this happens successfully, we're going to see more of the MNKs, a lot of the Sowores, a lot of the Adeyanjus. If you are still holding Sowore, how many can you imagine? A lot of Aisha Yusufu coming bombarding the whole place, and you're trying to hold Sowore, another person from one angle is coming out. Oh boy, I don't know. I would have said that the government of the day should start talking. They should start, if there's a need for press conference, they should gather a press conference and tell the Nigerians where they are per time. Very quickly, Attorney Joshua just won his title just some hours ago, and quickly the presidency congratulated him. And up till now, presidency have not deemed it fit to either refute or debunk the rumor that is going on about Sowore. We need to talk.
They have spoken, but not outrightly. Spoken via Loretta Onoche, who is the presidential aide on social media. She came out and she has said a lot to, she has made replies to different things that we've heard, she has spoken to Bob Menendez and other people. All the same, we're going to be looking at that in our subsequent videos. So we'll just like to leave it there, keep it there. Let's see how that gathering of strongholds of activism will look like. Let's leave it there, please.